and not very warm. I'd knock on the door, and a lot of times people just yell through the door or maybe open it a crack and look out. I remember one woman, she said, "What do you want?" And I said, "Well, we don't really want anything, but we're from the church over on the corner, and we're just going around the neighborhood and talking to people about matters of faith. And, I'm just trying to be real cool about it." And she said, with kind of an accusatory sound, she said, "You have an American accent." And I said, again, trying to keep it light, I said, "Well, what a coincidence. We are from America. This is my wife, Heidi." She's cut us off. She said, "Why don't you go pester people in your own country?" And you know what? At that moment, that sounded like a pretty good idea to me. I felt like going back home at that point. Well, we got through those 8 weeks, and it was tough. I mean, it was an uphill climb for me. But let me tell you kind of the innovation that we discovered that really helped get through that summer and actually helped us become a little bit more effective. What we figured out is that people were more open to talking to my wife, Heidi, who's just a short, petite, attractive person with a real outgoing personality. And they would talk to me, but they were more initially open to Heidi. So we decided, let's have Heidi knock at the door. I'll hide behind my wife or hide in the bushes. And when people meet her, they're going to invite her in, and then I'll just kind of rush in the door behind her. And that's what we did. And we got in lots of conversations, got invited in for some tea, and just had a pretty good experience after we began to take that approach. And then often they would start asking questions, and it would go a little deeper, and then I began to feel more natural. And I didn't really realize it then, but we were on the cusp of discovering what this whole contagious faith thing could look like, what a natural approach could look like in my life and in Heidi's life. Well, then we flew back. I was still kind of mixed feeling about this whole outreach evangelism idea. I kind of thought maybe I had done my tour of duty. I was finished. But we flew back home. We went back to our church. We went to a church service. It was on a Wednesday night, and we heard our pastor talk about something that surprised me. At first he said, "We're going to talk about evangelism." I thought, oh no. This is not my deal. This is not my gift. I've already been there, done that, done my time. But I guess I'll take notes and see if maybe I can help someone else with this or something. So I tried to have a good attitude. Well, he began to teach and unpack an idea that really resonated with me. I think, again, because of that innovation that Heidi and I had discovered, where we began to divide our approach according to our own personalities. What the pastor said is, he said, in the pages of Scripture, they didn't all share their faith the same way. They took different approaches. And he began to teach and go through these different, what we now call contagious faith styles, different approaches. And I want to share these with you. I'll just list them quickly right now. But this is a lot of what we're going to unpack over these 6 weeks, is to help you discover what your contagious faith style might be. And so let me just give you what these are. The first one's called friendship building. And this is what Heidi is. This is someone who's more relational and connects with people in natural ways, but through those relationships then begins to share their faith. So that might be you. A second style is what we call selfless-serving. And that's someone who serves people, they help people, they make a difference in people's lives in tangible ways, and that helps open doors to also share about the love and truth of Christ. Maybe that's you. The third example is the story sharing style. That's someone who tells their testimony, their story. They kind of talk about their experience with Christ in a way that can influence and affect the experience of the other person. That might be you. The fourth one is the reason-giving style. This is someone that gives reasons, they give evidence, they give answers to questions. They kind of help with more of the cognitive side, the intellectual side of Christianity, and help people to realize that Christianity is true and it makes sense. And guess what? That's my style. And that's how Heidi and I began to work together. She opened the doors.